Welcome to the Quarterback's Introduction video of our 360 series. Today, we're going to look at some of the common vocabulary and concepts we need to start understanding the position of quarterback. First up, we're going to look at some offensive positions. Right now, you're of course in the position of quarterback. So if you look beside you, you'll find a fullback, one of the two running backs. The fullback in particular is more responsible for blocking. Behind you is the tailback, the running back who will usually hand the ball off to. In front of us is the offensive line, the players who block for the running backs to run the ball and to protect us when we try to throw the ball. In the middle, directly in front of us, is the center, who will snap the ball to us. Beside the center are the two guards. And on the outside of them are the tackles. If you look out to your left, you'll see the slot back and the wide receiver. These are the players we'll usually be trying to throw the ball to. On the other side, you can see those same positions over there as well. Next, we're going to focus on the other side of the line of scrimmage, the line where the ball currently is that separates the offense from the defense. First up is the defensive line, who try to stop the run or get to us when we throw. On the inside of that are what we call the defensive interiors. On the outside are what we call the ends. Behind the defensive line are the linebackers. These players are responsible for either helping out with the run or helping out with the pass. On the outside, we can see the defensive backs. Directly across from the slots are the halfbacks, and the ones across from wide receivers are the corners. The last defensive back, furthest away from us and behind the linebackers, is the free safety. In front of you, highlighted now, is what we call the box. This box around the offensive backfield, which is us and the running backs, the linebackers, and all of the linemen, is where the run game happens. So when we talk about the box, we're referring to this part of the field. Next, let's talk about formations. Currently, the defense is lined up in what we call a 40 front. This means that they have 4 defensive linemen, along with 3 linebackers and 5 defensive backs. The defense can line up in a lot of different ways. Other common fronts are a 30 front with 3 defensive linemen and 4 linebackers, or a 50 front with 5 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers. Offensively, our current formation is called 22 offset I. The 22 refers to our receiver set, or how our receivers are lined up. That means that we have 2 receivers on each side of the field, 22, 2 and 2. The offset I means that we have the tailback directly behind us and the fullback beside us. Now we're in 31 offset I. The backfield is still the same, the fullback is still beside us, but if you look over to your left, you'll now see that both slot backs are over there. That's why we're now in 31 instead of 22. We count from left to right. If the formation were instead 13, there would be 1 receiver on the left and 3 on the right. Anytime we line 3 receivers up to one side, we can call that trips. Now we're back in 22, but take a look to your right and you'll see that the fullback has now moved down, close to but not quite on the line of scrimmage and beside the right tackle. This is now a different formation called 22 sing. Sing means that the fullback is down in what we call sing, or single wing. We have 22 because we're back to having 2 receivers on each side. For us, this is a standard formation. I'll also call your attention back to the linebackers, and you'll notice that they've shifted towards the side of the fullback. Next, we're going to start introducing some of our run game basics, where it's our responsibility to get the ball from the center and then to give the ball to the ball carrier. For now, we'll just focus on giving the ball to the tailback. Up first is what we call a cross-face handoff. What you're going to see in the upcoming video is that we'll secure the snap, then we're going to open up to the left, and we're going to see the tailback cross our face going from left to right. Up next is what we call a lateral handoff. This time, after we secure the snap, we're going to still open up to the left, but instead of the running back crossing our face, we're going to reach to get the ball out to the tailback as they move laterally or sideways. Now we're back in that offset I formation with our fullback up beside us as we transition to talk about some of our pass game basics. The first thing we're going to talk about is pre-snap reads. When we play quarterback, we don't want to just look around and hope that a receiver will get open. We design our plays so that we have certain players that will be higher percentage throws in certain situations. But in order to know where to go with the ball, we need to take in as much information as possible. The first pre-snap read we're going to look at is DEA, or depth, eyes, and alignment. This is meant to describe where the halfbacks and the corners are in relation to the slot back and the wide receivers. Depth refers to how far off the line of scrimmage a DB is. You can see that all four, both the halfbacks and the corners, are 5 yards off the ball. Sometimes DBs will line up closer or further, which can help us determine what kind of coverage the defense is trying to run. Next is the E of DEA, eyes. Where are the DBs looking? This can also help us predict, not guess, what the defense will be running. At QB, we usually refer to two kinds of coverage: man, where each defender is responsible for following a specific receiver, or zone, where the defender is responsible for a specific area of the field. When we look at the eyes of the DBs, defensive backs staring at you before the snap can indicate zone. DBs staring at their receivers can indicate man. Finally, after depth and eyes is alignment. This refers to what side, if any, the DB is on. If the DB is in inside shade, they're between us and the receiver. If they're in outside shade, they're on the other side of the receiver from us. Next up is talking a little bit more about those coverages and the common ones we'll see. First up is cover 1. Cover 1 is another way that we refer to man coverage. The number of the coverage tells us how many players the defense will have deep. So in cover 1, the halfbacks and the corners are responsible for the slots and the wide receivers. In the video, let's look at the right corner. You'll see that as the wide receiver starts running, the corner will still be at 5 yards and staying close to him. This is a post-snap read that can help us confirm that the coverage is cover 1. Once you see the corner in man coverage, get our eyes to the safety. That safety is the one deep player that gives us the name cover 1. For zone, we also refer to it as cover 3, which means that there will be 3 defenders deep. While there are a few different ways to run zone coverage, we're just going to look at that right corner again. This time, before the ball is snapped, you'll see that corner bail early or start running away from the wide receiver early. This is an indicator that it'll be cover 3 or zone. Both corners and that safety will give us the 3 deep players that give us the name cover 3. The last common coverage we'll see is another man coverage, this time called cover 0. That means that there will be 0 players deep. What you'll see this time is that the DBs will be up closer to the receivers, thinking depth, all staring at their receivers, and all be in inside shade, thinking alignment. This difference will be that the safety is down in the box to help with the run. This is why cover 0 means that the defense will have more players than usual attacking the box, but may open up opportunities to throw the ball. Okay, that'll take us to the end of this QB introduction video. There's still a ton to learn about quarterback, and we'll have some more videos in the future to go more in depth about both our run and our pass concepts. See you there.